There is a new TV series which has come in Prime Video, an excellent series. If you see it, you're not able to shut it down. You want to see the whole series once fully and again. The story of Titan. I'm talking about the story of Titan. An excellent series. The amount of effort the person has gone into create. It may be a story in one form, but the amount of interest he has created that you want to see that particular series is something enervating for you, because the enthusiasm which you get as a person seeing that something like Titan has been created in India is something wonderful, especially where in the last few scenes they are first rejected by a company for the manufacture of watches. Subsequently, they go to the same place, that is in Switzerland, and they buy the same company. Titan takes it over. One of the major reasons which Titan fought for was design. Now, that is the angle I was coming to. Design and the presentation. Both of them which played a great part in Titan becoming a giant of manufacturing today. When you hear that particular jingle, you are able, just like Hamara Bajaj or, Atali Batal Delicious, Amul, you understand that it is a Titan which is being presented there. When you're traveling also, if you hear that particular jingle, Titan is being, portrayed there. That is the advertisement creation. And that is a mental design. An advertisement is a mental design. That is to say, a car can be designed and physically it can be present. But when the car is thought about in the mind, that is what you present in the car when you make it, manufacture it. So a thought process is a mental design. And what happens in the story? There they poach they call the GMT. It's very open. Everybody can understand it is not GMT, it is HMT. Because HMT was one of the most leading companies, the rich companies at that time before Titan came in for the manufacturing of HMT watches. Now, HMT was a watch for which we used to use the screws to charge it. We used to wind it up every day. Whereas it was, I still have my HMT watch. You still wind it up. That's very interesting. I like it. But quartz watches started taking over the world. And HMT came late into the picture. And not only that, by the time Tata had exploited the knowledge of branding, it has exploited this quartz concept and started moving forward in leaps and bounds. HMT lost the bet. The second thing, why did it happen? Why did the engineers of HMT move to Tata's? That is Titan. Why? Either Tata's, I'm sorry, it is Titan. Because how they define Titan is an interesting, people please see this movie. It's an excellent production, and how they made that, short Titan is another fascinating, scene there. Wonderful. Now, I'm coming back to the picture. Now, what happens? What they are doing is they are poaching people, experts from HMT. One of them is a design expert, one is a horological expert, one knows the watches thoroughly, movements, etc. Well, I do not know whether it's true or whether it's, but from the story, I understand that HMT engineers were poached upon. Why? Bureaucracy. They were not, the talents were not exploited. They were kept there as employees, not people with knowledge. Whereas Titan did not treat them as employees, they treat them with people with knowledge. They use their expertise. In government companies, people treat this as an employment opportunity. It is not what I call where you exploit their talents. That is where Titan had a great advantage. They came over, they crossed HMT because of these two things. They did not define him as an employee. They defined him as either as a designer or as a horological effort or something else. They did not treat him, okay, you are paid a salary, you do your job. No. They made him involved with Titan. That is the failure of the government companies. They do not involve. When they involve the people into it and they make them feel, yes, you are a part of the system. We all depend upon you. We feel that your contribution is improving the performance of the company. Your contribution plays a great part in the development of the company. Your contribution plays a great part in making profits. If they get that idea, they become involved. When the involvement is not there and they are treated as a part of part of the furniture as an employee, they lose all interest, and when they get the first opportunity, they jump. That is where HMT failed. The government failed those engineers. This is what I understand from Titan, the movie Titan. So I would say that when we have talents, there is huge talent available in the public sector. In every field, I have, as a chartered accountant, I have audited great number of public sector undertakings, and I can say there is enormous talent available in the public sector. You take it any field, engineers, financiers, laborers, ordinary workers. Each one has got a talent, but they are not given the opportunity to exploit themselves in that organization. They are treated as if, okay, this is your job, you do that job, close your file and walk out. But actually, you give them the responsibility, they can do much better. The Indian jugaad, you are able to see, which is working wonders today because of Atmanirbhar. The Indian jugaad is available, every person there who is working there, in the lowest to the highest. For example, if you take Sridhar Vembu of Zoho, he said that my designers are all from the rural area. None of them are coming from the high-end universities. Many of them are even class 12 graduates. He calls them graduates, class 12 graduates from local schools and colleges. And they're doing so well. So it is that Indian, giving them the opportunity that they are part of the team. The team works as a group, not individually putting together. When it works as a group, there's a great opportunity. That is one area which the government sector misses out totally. They do not understand that the feeling of an employee he comes as an employee. He comes as something like that for an opportunity to earn money. But if you give him the opportunity or her the opportunity that she's a part of that organization, a part of that organization, and without, if any part is removed, the organization will have a gap in that. And if that gap is not filled in, you are going to have a broken organization. So to fill in that gap, you get new people. Instead of that, let us not create that gap. Let us give them opportunity and be a part of the organization. Give each one a point to exploit their talent. Present it to them. Give them an opportunity. I'm sure, just like Titan, I'm sure 90% of our government companies will shine, and they can make, they need not be funded by the government. They need not be funded, treated as, always with a begging bowl. It is most unnecessary. I'm sure about it that the government has a relook, and avoids, again, I would like to bring the bureaucracy into it, that avoid the bureaucracy controlling the systems there, and let them move out and give that company the freedom to operate. You will see a different public sector coming into being. Thank you.